Right? That's pretty much what I had prepared for today. So I wonder whether we have some time for questions now. And before you ask your first question, can I tell you something? Little secret? I haven't got all the answers. Okay? I haven't got all the answers, but you ask the question. If I know the answer, I will try to answer the best of my knowledge. If I don't know, I will honestly say I don't know. I might even go on my computer on creation.com and try to find the answer in there. So if there are any questions, if I know the answer, I'd love to answer those questions. And I'm convinced Philip will be happy to help with his vaster knowledge than mine. Yes?
Yeah, one criticism levelled against, obviously, the India camp is that they're not printing out scientific papers which can be peer-reviewed in order to evaluate the actual theory, the comprehensive theory, rather than just suggestions of things that seem to fit a full context. You've got to actually come up with a very intact theory which cannot be torn down by peers. It's easy to convince a room of people who are not very scientifically informed, or maybe not all logical to that degree, but it's harder to convince your peer group of scientists, which is the problem.
Yeah, this is a very, very good question, and many people actually ask this question, and I've asked this myself, and I did find answers to this question myself, because I was like, well, why don't they publish? The truth is that many scientists do publish in scientific journals and publish from their field. It might not be exactly on creation, okay? They say, I'm a creationist, I'm publishing on creation, but they publish in their field. So we are talking about scientists who know what they are talking about. Also, there is the so-called Journal of Creation, where, that's there. It's a peer-reviewed journal. It's creation scientists, and other creation scientists will peer review. Now, your real question is, why don't they publish in journals where we have non-believers? And I don't want to sound any judgmental, but I'd say it's almost impossible to do that. The peer review process itself will look at you want to publish, and remember the paradigm? It doesn't fit the paradigm. How could I publish something? Very recently, I think I was reading either in Creation magazine or on the daily articles that you can get from creation.com, and there was these Chinese people who published something about the hand, the human hand, and they were praising the amazing design of the hand. They didn't say God or anything, but they used the word design and designer, something like this. And the whole scientific community was up in arms. How could you say that? You cannot say design and designers. How could I bring an article? Again, there have been, do we have the book, The Onslaught of the Dissidents? Not with us, but there's a good book to look at scientists that have tried to do just that. And they were pretty much more or less, you shut up, you mind your own business, you don't publish this, It looks to me that many work with this kind of paradigm. No real scientist believes in creation. But then you bring people like so-and-so, these are creationists, and they are scientists, believe in creation, and they go like, well, we already know that no real scientists believe in creation, so these can't be real scientists. Somebody was commenting on creation.com, and Don Batten has got a PhD in plant physiology, and the gentleman commenting says, yes, the gardener. So Don Batten has got a PhD in plants and physiology, and this gentleman, all he could say about him is, the gardener. You see, so this is really, but the Journal of Creation tries to do just that, so that it's, good quality materials being published, peer-reviewed by people who understand these things and who do give a good thought about them. Does that answer? Yeah?
If every single scientist on the planet disagreed with what the Bible said, would that mean the Bible is wrong? Only 8 people survived the flood. The majority were wrong.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
I was going to ask one more believe that the flood is something that definitely happened, in my opinion, from a biblical point of view. But what I want to stress is that although we got sort of rapid catastrophic, there doesn't seem to be so much like evidence of human beings buried within this rock strata. I know there seems to be alluding to some, but there's not a whole lot of evidence in relation to human bones on top of each other.
So the question is, why do human fossils are missing from these things?
I'm not saying they're not missing, but there's
Not so many. Yes. What happens? We need to understand that 95%, which is shocking, 95% of the fossils are marine animals. So it's only 5% that are land animals, if I'm correct in this one, in the fossils.
5% is everything else.
5% is everything else.
Mostly plants.
Mostly plants, right? So it's really not that many fossils. Also, if we think that humans were pretty much then as they are today, I'd expect that they hang to their dear life to their last moment of the flood. What I'm saying is, marine animals, when you have all this cataclysmic flood and all the mud and everything burying stuff, in water, you'd expect the marine animals to kind of suffocate, not being able to breathe that muddy water, and they are buried in there. Also, other animals must have been caught in this catastrophic event. When it comes to humans, they probably did their best hanging to rafts, to floating, to survive to the last minutes of the flood, so they didn't get buried. Now, for a fossil to form, it needs to be buried quickly, and it has to be a sediment that's rich in minerals to meet the criteria. So if they kind of were floating, they pretty much got decomposed or eaten by other animals. That's why we don't get so many humans.
But there are some evidences of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Chapter 15 of this book, where are all the human fossils?
The whole chapter. Okay, I think somebody wanted to ask a question here.
Not true that evidence of Noah's Ark has already been found on Ararat.
Yes, there have been discussions about this one of the ark being found there. From my knowledge, the evidence is not really that convincing. Also, the mountains of Ararat, where the ark supposedly landed, it's the mountains of Ararat. It's not really one mountain; it's a mountain range, so it's a bit difficult to pinpoint where it really landed. So I don't think there's really enough evidence for that. Also, we need to remember that after the flood, they probably continued to live for a while in that ark, and also that was a good source of wood for making fires, for building houses. The whole ark may have been torn down to be used for other purposes, so if I'm correct with that one. Yeah? Do we have something on that one?
I agree with what Florin said. However, if you're interested in those ark sightings, this is a beautiful book. And the first third of it deals with that subject. It's a beautiful coffee table style book, but with a tremendous amount of stuff on fossils and loads of stuff on the ark sightings and reconstructions based on people's testimony of what they saw. We don't normally stop something like that, but we felt that book did a brilliant job of going through all those sightings. So that one, and one like it on Dinosaurs and Dragons. Have a look, flick through the sample, and you'll see that there's some really good stuff. So,
Yeah, I have a question here.
yeah, blood fossils and giant dragons.
Isn't it true as well that a lot of the institutions are actually avoiding evidence? I know sort of Googling the Nephilim, some personal study myself, and I was quite sort of surprised that there was a lot of pictures, and I know pictures can be edited or photoshopped. There was a lot of evidence to suggest that the Nephilim was obviously around at the time of the flood, and the bones have actually been found. But because they're sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 feet tall, a lot of the institutions have actually eaten the bones. Is that sort of common?
There's on creation.com, there are 2 recent articles on the Nephilim by Lita Kostner. Please read them because I don't want to do injustice. It's a quite big subject. But the Nephilim are mentioned in the scripture, and it's interesting that the Nephilim are mentioned again after the flood. So it's interesting what the word means and what exactly they were. There are different opinions, and I don't think I can do justice to that. But on creation.com, if you search Nephilim, you should find 2 wonderful articles on this subject. Yeah, please.
When you just put my mind to rest, we talked about Noah, the ark. Have they not tried to build that again, and it didn't work? You know how they're trying to prove the Bible wrong and everything. Have they not tried to rebuild the ark on what the Bible's saying, but it didn't succeed, it didn't float or something? Am I right or?
I am not aware of any such attempts. I am aware of attempts of the ark being built but being floated.
I think you're probably talking about a report of a man who found an old clay tablet in this country, and there was a BBC documentary, and he claimed that the ark was actually round, not circular. Some people remember that? Yeah. A few years ago.
Right.
Dominic Statham, one of our colleagues, has written an article on that, and Russell Griggs. So there's 2 articles. If you put in, I forget the name of the man, he's an expert on cuneiform writing at the British Museum. And his theory was that the ark was round. And of course they tried to build a round ark, made out of straw and meat, and it sunk. So that's not the ark that the Bible is saying.
Yeah.
That they tried to make out because their ark sunk, it wasn't feasible. But it was the wrong ark.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
but there is a guy in the Netherlands who's built a full-size ark, and we featured it in Creation magazine.
Yes.
And that guy has funding from somebody to the tune of more than €1 million, and they're seeking permission to take it across to the Rio Olympics. You might be interested in praying that happens.
Yeah.
If a picture's worth 1,000 words, and a full-size ark.
Yeah. I am aware I have exceeded my time by 6 minutes already, so I wouldn't like to eat your coffee break. So, okay.